Hey, my name is Felicitas Barrientos. I'm 35 years old and I'm a mother of five children. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I left Austin because I was in a toxic relationship for 14 years and I wanted to chase the high. I wasn't ready to settle down, and I was hurting a lot of people. Well, anyhow, I came to Brownsville and I was here for 10 days out and I was just high all those days. And finally it caught up with me. And a cop I was walking. A cop stopped me and arrested me. I was in population at first, downtown Brownsville jail. And I got into a verbal disagreement with this girl over the television. And they sent me to segregation, and I was in segregation for about 8 months. My first month there was horrible. They mentally abused me constantly, telling me that they were going to kill my children, that they were going to kill me, that I needed to come up with money, that I would call my parents and my family. I thought I was going crazy because I would call and I would tell them, they're trying to kidnap me, they're going to kill me. And nobody believed me. Nobody believed what I was saying because it's just crazy to even think that that happens. And but it was happening. And so was having a little anxiety because they had been scaring me all night. So I went to the nurse's station. When I got to the nurse's station, I told them what was going on. And Sergeant Valladares came over there and he told me to go, that no, I just needed to go to rec. I needed to get some air. And I refused to go because in rec, they would tell me if I go to rec that they were going to chop me up with a chainsaw in rec. So there's no way in heck I went to rec. And so then I refused to go back to my cell. They took me to a holding tank in the front. I saw these two cells that were there, and I said, I want to go to those cells. And when he came to get me, I told him, how can I get to those cells? Because I felt I would be safe there. And he said, only people who want to kill themselves go to those cells. And I said, well, I'm going to kill myself if you don't, if you take me back to that cell. So he laughed about it, and they went and they took my clothes and my undergarments, my commissary, my hygiene, everything. Put me on a green quilt and put me in this room. This room, you use the bathroom in a hole in the floor. There's no mattresses, there's no beds. It's a concrete floor where you just lay down. The first night I just laid there and I fell asleep. And the next day they called me out to the nurse's station, and it happened to be Adult Protective Services. So I said, I'm going to tell them everything. And I did. I told them everything that was going on because I felt they were going to help me. And they were pretty mad. The guards there were pretty mad, especially Valladares and Hilda Trevino. And they took me back to the cell, and Solis was one of them. She always harassed me, and I think because of her, they did all of this to me because she disliked me, and they just kind of followed with that. So they took me back to the cell, and I was in my cell with the clothes, and I overheard their conversation, and Hilda Trevino told Valladares, get rid of her. She's a snitch. And I just said, you know what? I knew they were gonna hurt me. I knew they were gonna, and I couldn't do anything. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have nothing. I just had to just wait. And then I heard them out there, and they're coming in there, and I told them, I'll give you how much money you want. I'll do whatever you want. and I ended up getting raped. And a few of them did it on their own, but then he started making other ones do it. I don't know why. And at that point, they started knocking me out, and I was unconscious a lot of the time. I don't know how badly they abused my body. I was so out of it. I was I had literally lost my mind. Uh, I woke up and they were all around me, and at this point I was fighting. I said, they're trying to kill me. They're gonna do this. I'm gonna fight. I don't care. They're gonna kill me anyways. So I fought, and they gave me a shot. I thought it was heroin because I couldn't fight after they gave me the shot. Put it that way. And they strapped me down in the chair, and they took me to the shower to wash me down. They told me to put on clothes, and I walked out, and a stretcher was waiting for me, an ambulance. I went to the hospital, and I was there for 6 days. I was there. When I first got there, I couldn't even tell them what was going on with me. But when I got there, they gave me another dose of Haldol. And I had a lot of trauma to my body. I went to my doctor the other day with my medical records, and he told me that he doesn't understand how I had so much trauma to my muscle, to my body, to the inside, lab work, but there was no reported injuries on the outside. And to be honest, I don't even remember searching for bruises or anything. I was just whatever they gave me in there, I was totally out of it. And so my doctor told me that he doesn't understand how come I had so much trauma to my insides of my body. I had a heart attack. And they just left me in there. When I went to the hospital, I was there. They knew all of this stuff happened to me, and they still released me to the jail. They didn't even question it. The jail told them I was hallucinating, I was delusional, all kinds of things that I thought people were trying to kill me. And this is kind of odd, but there was a man named Fernando Longoria, and he died in there January 22nd, 2015, 9 months before me. And everything that happened to me happened to him. And it's documented in his autopsy, in his records that they have on in the internet. Exactly. The Haldol, the delusional, the people trying to kill me, the hallucinations. After they did this, and his wife was suing for 10 million, and they did it again after 9 months. September, they put an ad in the newspaper, in the news, and it was stating that the wife was suing them for 10 million. A month before they did this to me. That just says they don't care. They do not care what they're doing in there. They're mistreating inmates. They're treating them like worse than animals, like you're nothing. And it has to be stopped. Something has to happen, because this is not right. I cannot get anybody to listen to me. My lawyer, my court-appointed lawyer, the first person I told that they raped me, I wrote it down on a piece of paper in court, and I told him, can you please give this paper to my mom? And it said they raped me. But nobody believed me. Nobody believed me, because they said, he told my mom that I was taking medication and it was possible that I was going crazy. And that's why I was saying it. So my family never did anything about it. They thought I was just going crazy. I went back to the hospital. After the hospital, I went back. I was in infirmary. They didn't let me talk to my family for about a month and a half. And then when they finally let me talk to her, I was on the phone, on their phone, not the jail phone, but the, you know, landline. Hilda Trevino was standing behind me, listening to what I was saying. And all I could tell my mom was, I went to the hospital, but I don't know why. And that was the honest to God truth. I didn't know why. I knew why, but it's kind of hard to explain. I know what they did to me, but after what they did to me, and I was there, I was just like, not me. I was there in infirmary. They finally took me back to the same cell, 159, and they just continued with the scaring, with the taunting. They told me that they had my mother because I didn't come up with the money. They told me that they chopped my mother up, her arms, her legs. They said she was just a torso and a head sitting there because I couldn't come up with money. Can you imagine thinking that your mother has no legs and no arms because you were a drug addict and you couldn't stop? And I would pray and I would beg them to please just leave her alone. They took me out of my cell one day and they took me to the visiting area. It was one side for you, one side for your family. They locked me in our side. They told me that they had my son and that they were going to cut him up in front of me. All I could do was get down on my knees and just pray. Ask God to please help me. And they laughed. And I really, honest to God, believed that they had my family. They left me in there begging and crying for a while. And then they just took me back to my cell like it was nothing. They did this to me all the time, just with different things. And they went in there one time and they were trying to fight with me. And there was a girl that was in the cell next to me. And she told me that she had a telephone and that she was going to call 911. I heard her talking to 911. And then they took her out of her cell. I don't know what happened to her after that. I hope that she's okay. But this is not right, what's going on in this jail. And I need help. Nobody will listen to me. The jurisdiction is it. The people talk about the jurisdiction and this, but this jurisdiction, they don't want to help. They want to hide. So how do you get the help that you need to resolve this? It's a statute of limitations of 2 years. And unfortunately, nobody tried to do anything court-wise on the outside for me, my family. I got out and there was a month left for me to get some going and do a lawsuit. But nobody ever told me that there was a statute of limitations. First of all, I didn't get out of there until I was there, September 29th, 2015. And then I left there April 2016. And My mom called 911. They said they couldn't do anything to help. And it just went on like that. But there's nothing that I can do. I can't. Fernando Longoria's wife, this past Friday, which was April 6th, I believe, settlement for $1 million. And she wanted 10 million, and she deserved every bit of it, because I know exactly what he went through, and it's terror. And they had her settle for $1 million. But if they are admitting and they're giving $1 million because they were wrong, and his records are like my records 9 months later, that just says that they are admitting to it. It's not a coincidence that my records and his records are the same at all. Manuel Carrizales died January 22nd, 2017. Fernando Longoria died January 22nd, 2015. Jose Pacina died October 28th, 2014. I was admitted into the hospital October 28th, 2015. I do not believe that it was a coincidence that those dates just happened to be at 3 years. 3 men die in there with natural causes or whatever it is that they said. And then this happens to me. So October 28th, January 22nd, those are just, days that people just pass away. I don't think so. I need help. I need somebody to listen to me, to help me, and to if you can tell me, if you think that there's something that you can help me with, please help me. I thought if I did this video, they would retaliate against me. And you know what? I'm not afraid. I'm tired of being afraid. I worry about my kids being affected by this. But you know what? I'm sober today. And I feel great. Besides the fact that I have to deal with everything that I'm going through, it feels good to be sober. But please, anybody who can help me. I'm exhausted. Calling lawyer after lawyer after lawyer. At this point, I don't even care about the money. I just want justice. I just want them to pay for what they did, because what they did was illegal, and they deserve to pay for it. And nobody will listen to me. I'm not crazy. And neither was Fernando Longoria. And we didn't deserve what happened to us. Or Manuel Carrizales or Jose Pacina. We didn't deserve that. Because I don't believe they died. Just died like that. 29, 21, 31. Me 34. I was 34. 33. I was 33. That's not natural causes. I'm sorry. So, if you can help me, just, my Facebook is felicitasbarrientes at gmail.com. And if you know anyone who can help me, just please reach out to me and let me know. Thank you.